Welcome to another show. This is Yup, I Said It. My name is Andre. Look, if you're like me, for many years, you were taught to celebrate Christmas on December 25th. Now, recently, I've come across a YouTube channel, and I'm so happy that I did, that actually gets down to the bottom of, when the Messiah was born. And amongst other things in the Bible that just are simply not understood by the common person. I've been studying the Bible for many years. I got my first Bible when I was about 16. Start reading the book of Proverbs. Like I said, been studying for many years and still just come to a point sometimes where I just don't understand what in the world I'm reading. Okay. The basics of the Bible, I think that anybody could get that, but there's much more to the Bible than you actually think. Today, I want you to take a look at a new channel that I'm reacting to a video from a new channel that I've discovered called The Rood Awakening. The gentleman's name is Michael Rood. Spent some time in Israel and just started studying the culture of the Hebrew. All right, so what you're going to find out is very fascinating. This is an excellent show. I want you guys to pay very close attention. And with that, I'm going to let Michael take it away.
We read in the scroll of Ruth that Elimelech and his family left Bethlehem during a drought and sojourned east of Israel in the land of Moab. The Moabites were worshippers of the pagan god of prosperity, Chemosh. It was the same cast iron, pot-bellied god that their kindred the Ammonites worshipped by the name of Molech. They both wore the Phrygian cap, the official headwear of both Tammuz in Babylon and later Mithra in Rome. At the time of the winter solstice, December 25th on the ancient calendar, they had a public child mass, mass meaning sacrifice. The priests stoked the iron image of the enthroned Chemosh with wood and burning pitch, turning their pot-bellied god into a cherry red furnace. The people made long lists of their desires and recited them to the god of prosperity just before they put their infant children into the red-hot lap of their god with his Phrygian cap. As the babies were incinerated in the December 25th child mass, the people were assured that their sacrifice would be rewarded in the coming year. On the same day, south of Israel, the Egyptians worshiped their sun god, Ra. An Egyptian hieroglyph depicts Ra castrating himself, just as Greek legend tells of the god Attis performing the same surgery on himself. Worshippers of Ra would hang gold and silver balls on an upright palm tree, as Jeremiah reports it, and place their decorated gifts to the sun god under the tree decorated with the gold and silver testicles of Ra. This vain custom was performed on Ra's birthday, December 25th. When Israel adopted this custom, they used the evergreen tree, which they cut out of the forest with an axe and erected it in their homes with the help of a hammer and nails so that it would not topple over, and decked it with gold and silver balls. God calls this festival an abomination. In the 1600s, it was illegal to have a Christmas tree or even a Christmas service in America. The Pilgrims knew that it was pure pagan sun god worship. Now, don't be offended because I'm telling you these things. Be offended because these abominations have gone unchallenged by modern paganized Christianity. These occult practices have changed very little since being brought into America. A month before the birthday of Tammuz, we have our children make endless lists to the cherry red, pot-bellied god of prosperity, and then we place our terrified children into the lap of this god who sits on his throne in the shopping mall wearing his Phrygian cap. On Christmas Eve, he will come down the fireplace chimney and deliver gifts under the evergreen tree decorated with gold and silver balls. Our children will kneel before the evergreen phallic symbol as they receive the blessings from their God. And parents charge their credit cards to the limit to make certain that their children are not disappointed when their God makes good on his promise of prosperity. Months before the event, the world shifts into high gear to promise the most fulfilling experience of life when our children open boxes filled with their greatest hopes and dreams. More stuff. The reality is never as great as the carrot dangled before our nose. Our children are disappointed before the last package is opened, and we are in debt for the next 9 months to try to pay for this sinking feeling of despair. That morning's events set up a chain reaction that results in the highest incidence of suicide in the entire year. Instead of putting our children into the fiery red hands of Chemesh on Child Mass Day, we abort millions of babies during the rest of the year and then celebrate our affluence by lavishing gifts upon business colleagues whom we don't even like, just to show that the God of prosperity is still smiling on us approvingly. It is the same God that is served. The names of the gods just changed from culture to culture. Now you can begin to see why Shaul was so intent on warning us not to follow after the traditions of the heathen. We start by accepting one seemingly harmless tradition, a tradition which, like yeast, grows until it contaminates our entire world. Now, Christmas Day is the biggest movie day in America. We can't wait to escape the reality that we created. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, by following after the tradition of men, and following after the rudiments of the world, and not following after Messiah. Rudiments are best described as the individual elements that make up the whole, like the stones in the wall that make up this watchtower. Shaul implies that we can be deceived one brick at a time until one day we wake up in a prison that we have built for ourselves. We will have followed after the things of this world and not even realize that we have been led away from following the Messiah. Because of our general ignorance of the Torah, many people fail to realize that Shaul continually quotes the Torah throughout his writings. Devarim gives the basis of his warning to the Gentile believers. Take heed to thyself, or you beware, that thou be not snared or spoiled by following them. Whom? The pagan sun god worshippers. Thou shalt not inquire how these nations serve their gods, and do the same unto Yahweh thy Elohim. Everything they do is an abomination. Yahweh hates that they have burned their sons and daughters as a sacrifice on the altars of their gods. When God created Adam, he knew he was creating a party animal. But he gave clear instructions on how he wants his people to party. 3 times a year you will have a festival, a feast to me, in the way I prescribe. The next several verses from Shaul's letter remind us that when we accept the Messiah, our old sinful ways are to die and we are to become a new creation. When we are obedient in baptism, our old man and the sins of the flesh are buried with him. Shaul then gives a powerful summation. Therefore, let no man judge you. The word therefore is a causal conjunction. Because you have died to this world and its godless heathenism, and because you are responsible to follow the Messiah and keep yourself from being taken hostage by the pagan cultures in which you find yourself, therefore you are not to let any heathen sun god worshippers judge you in meat, or in drink, or in respect of a holy day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath, which are a shadow of things to come.
All these years we've been lied to about Christmas. It's not talking about a pagan holiday. You're worshiping a sun god. Anybody else talking about this? Like, there's not a lot of talk about this. There's Christmas trees all over the place. Dude, a lot of people just don't understand what we're doing. The Bible's actually very crisp and clear about what this is. God warns us about it before it even happens. Okay? It looks like the Roman Catholic Church has been deceiving people all along about Christmas and Santa Claus. First of all, Santa Claus is already a lie. For the fact that they worship another god on this day, it's supposed to be Jesus' birthday, whose name is not even Jesus, by the way. It's Yeshua. Yahshua. Anybody know God's real name? Well, the Hebrews do. It's been there in the Torah. If you've been studying it, if you've been looking at if you're reading the Bible, his name is Yahovah. We've been lied to, guys. It is time to wake up. And I don't think that we realize the trouble we're in. We're in deep trouble. So the devil's been lying to us, getting us to worship these pagan gods who don't exist. God warned us not to do it before it happened. Now the enemy can tell God, okay, they've been worshiping pagans. They don't like you anyway, and it wouldn't be a lie. So we better snap out of it and wake up. This is an awesome channel. It's called The Rude Awakening. My wife and I just recently stumbled upon it. We've been just studying, deep diving into it. There's so much truth there. If you ever wanted to understand the Bible and understand what it's actually teaching, this channel is amazing. You've got to check it out. There's no way in the world we're going to understand who God is, who his son is, and what this is all about and what life is all about if we don't understand what we're reading. Churches don't teach this stuff. They simply don't teach it. They're scared to tell you that you're worshiping the sun god. And the Roman Catholic Church has put these in place. And you're supposed to be observing the Sabbath like it says in the commandments. Oh, the Roman Catholic Church has changed the commandments around. They've taken things out of the Bible. We're in trouble. This is why our country is failing. This is why leadership sucks. This is why all these things are happening. God's turned his back on us because we've turned our back on him. I'm going to, from this point on between the Sabbath, on the Sabbath, at some point, I'm going to react to a video here. I'm going to bring some new things to your attention. I think that this is, I've been making a lot of political videos and they've been great. It's been fun, but there's a reason why all these awful things are happening to us and why the enemy, so-called leftists, are able to just demolish us and we can't do anything about it. It's because of all these things that are happening that we didn't know. Like the Bible says, God says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. We don't know what's going on. We've been lied to. So count on that. Every Saturday, I want you guys to look out for my videos. We're going to be talking a lot about this. I believe it's going to help us. People want to know the truth. And once you hear the truth, once you start hearing the truth, you're not going to want to get enough because there have been so many lies being told. Guys, I have a Patreon. I'm going to put the link in the description. Please go and support me. Help this channel. We are going to expose the enemy and we're going to put the truth out every chance we get. Thank you for joining. Yup, I said it. We love you. Until next time.